Right with Scott and I wrote together. We knew each other during our MFA, but he had this really intense projection on me that I was super classy and didn't like to go out to bars.
True.
It's so true. So we never met each other, and then we started to write together. So these poems that Kyle and I are reading are like basically poems number 41 through 45 of something we wrote together. And Kyle is actually going to start with a poem from Stevie Smith.
I'm writing.
Just read your poem. This is Stevie Smith.
Not waving, but drowning. Nobody heard him, the dead man. But still he lay moaning. I was much further out than you thought. And not waving, but drowning. Poor chap. He always loved larking. And now he's dead. It must have been too cold for him. His heart gave way, they said. Oh, no, no, no. It was too cold always. Still the dead one lay moaning. I was much too far out all my life, and not waving, but drowning.
So this is from Owaihi, our mutual project. The first two sections, Scott starts, and then he asked me to start a section. And the first title of the first poem I wrote is called Before Model for Paxil. Dear Scott, I am almost ready to wash my hair. Dear Scott, from the town I have fenced the grass as if this plot were not also the town. To me a lawn stays private. Is poetry confessional if you didn't do it? Union among poem and person accommodates. I am also rain and cold, 3 August days just to sleep with no definite or problem of speech. The experiences themselves do not elegize. In the observation of types of existence, which person asks, and what is best? Like this morning, I accidentally fed the cat dog food for breakfast. You are not the audience, you are the poet.
Dear Karena, I actually physically went to some movies in Oregon. That fucker really does go to the moon and get lonely. Beats me who did it. What, the Shakespeare town? During the Macbeth intermission, I peed blood. Karena, I have an historical ace in the hole. Me and Nina are moving back to Mexico. I predict there will be no definite problem of sleep. There will be a bad fluency and an unmeasurable, a shady, turdless spot in the park. Union as in workers' rights. There is no experimental taxidermy. So forgive me, all my forgive me. A perfect ugly poem. And there is a companion emotion to giddiness. You have to make a half-empty balloon. Karena, touch my brakes. This is the waiver. You will be asked to sign prior to making your skydive.
I only wish everyone could meet the real Scott.
I'm way better than the real Scott.
Although they're both from Nebraska.
Oh,
they're tall, brown-haired men.
Oh, yeah.
Real movie.
We got that.
Nebraska.
Oh, man. Matt knows what we got. Matt, where is Matt?
He's asleep.
What do we got? We got that big old, big old
real movie. That flower was like taxidermy. Right on. Shake lithium water from the lady's unwashable hands. This is all autobiographically factual, which is so depressing. My mother killed herself with fire. I never say. I will talk about my dog's breakfast. Dear Scott, dear Kyle, poets make meaning after or later. Does suicide run down lines of ladies? I never become death fluent, a discussion necessarily silent. Moon, Oregon. On the ocean, a fishing ship I find disruptive of the horizon, and humans interrupt the beach with cars. Why do we decide what is ugly? I gotta stay up in the etherosphere and look the other way, what with all this earth loss occurring. My mother set my grandmother's house on fire does not have anything to do. If I could reach, unmeasured from the sky, I would settle my mother. Scott, I still hope gravity never touches you. My mother died when she was 43. Could you please read this as a poem from me? No waiver. I never found out how to bring her towards truth.
Karena, this time a waiver is some fucker actually physically fucking waving from a fire. It was a beautiful day. Karena, I threatened to rape Paul Wolfowitz in a poem to scare myself into something spiritual. And I thought it would be more illegal. And now, here is your mother asking you to light a match. My mother would ask me to come make this bed. As she was making this bed, which is exactly the task of your last poem. She said Ron Howard has gotten really ugly. Thank you, Karena, for doing that. Karena, just say the sign you'll outlive everyone in the room. If you're the life of the party, light the match and its country music in the park, in everybody's womb, in your poem, which will be sad, scared the fucking hell out of me. I don't know why I cannot be sweet about it. It was physically very pretty.
Anti-suicide pact. Dear Scott, thank you for making this with me. Symmetry disappoints without surprise. Illegal harshness I walk night alleys for. You hand over unsecretly. inhaling, blackout from pretty or ugly. Ron Howard is such a pussy. Damn it, Scott. Raping Paul Wolfowitz hurt my kidneys. The scariest middle-aged woman you correspond with does not make threats. The waver's not waving, but fanning the flames. Would you rather be spiritual or beautiful, like a day? I drove into the one-way grid, hurrying to the grocer's to compensate. A guy in a Honda flipped jerk honesty. Doesn't that commuter know I drive like shit? Beatniks suggest penning down the first thought, as if thought were linear and with points. In the moment's iconography. My open thinking became the match, so instead, fold up my poem for country music. Scott, good problems have aesthetic solutions. People have to walk out of the womb. It makes me angry to be so sad. Fire in the park, burning everyone. Scary shit. A sweet lie is still a lie. Fuck it. I never make my bed. Toss a quilt over Macbeth's bloody urine. We can be taken care of with the truth. But after I confessed, I could not change my story.